Welcome, wanderer. My name is Silas, and I'm your storyteller here at Slumberlight Tales. I'm so glad that you found your way here tonight. So before we begin our story, I want you to go on and take a slow, easy breath in through the nose and out gently through the mouth. Let your shoulders loosen, let your jaw soften, and let the weight of the day ease itself out of your body, as if it's dust sliding off an old, well-loved book. Because tonight, we're stepping into a place unlike anywhere you've been before. A place where silence is not emptiness, but ancient memory. Where every shadow holds a story, and every breath feels like turning a page that's waited centuries to be read. Tonight, you'll walk into the library at the edge of winter. It all begins with snow. Not a storm, not yet, but a persistent, whisper, soft flurry drifting across a narrow mountain path. The flakes fall slowly, deliberately, as if reluctant to land, catching what little light remains from the sinking sun. Your boots press into the snow with a muted crunch, each step releasing the faint scent of cold stone and pine needles hidden beneath the white drifts. You've been climbing for nearly an hour, guided only by a lantern whose flame trembles in the wind. Its small circle of light wavers across frost-covered rock, illuminating thick icicles that hang like crystal knives from the cliffside above you. But you keep climbing, not because you're lost, but because you're following a map left behind decades ago by someone you barely remember. A family friend, a scholar, a dreamer, someone who whispered once in a fragile voice. If you ever find yourself seeking answers, follow the old northern path. It will reveal what you need. You never understood the meaning of it until now. A gust of wind rises, cold enough to sting, carrying a scent you can't place, something deep, dry, and ancient, like old parchment stored in cedarwood chests. It drifts down from somewhere ahead. Your heart quickens. You lift your lantern higher. The faint glow catches on a shape in the distance. A tall, pointed structure carved into the mountainside itself. At first, you think it's simply rock sculpted by centuries of snow and wind. But when the snow thins for a moment, you see it clearly. A doorway, a massive arch of black stone etched with runes older than any language you know. The arch is at least 20 feet tall, its edges rimmed with frost that glitters like powdered diamonds. Above it, carved into the stone with breathtaking precision, is a sigil. A single open eye set within a circle of intertwining branches, stars, and curling script. A symbol for the seekers, for those who walk in search of truth. Your breath clouds in the air, but you barely feel the cold now, because the door, if it can be called a door, is shifting, not opening, not swinging outward, but glowing softly with copper gold light that pulses once, then twice, as if sensing you, as if recognizing you. You step closer. The hum reaches your chest, a deep, resonant vibration that feels like standing beside a giant bell right after it's been struck. Not loud, but just powerful, ancient, and steady. A warmth spreads through your fingertips, and without you touching a thing, the stone arch sighs, an exhale of centuries, and the doorway melts open into darkness. Not a frightening darkness, no, but a warm one, a darkness filled with promise. You lift your lantern and step inside. The silence is the first thing you notice. Not empty silence, not the hollow, abandoned kind, but a full one, deep and complete, like the inside of a cathedral at midnight. Then comes the scent, a lush, layered tapestry of aromas: old leather, warm beeswax, cedar and dust, faint traces of ink and pressed flowers, something like winter air, crisp and clean, woven into it all. Your boots touch a polished stone floor. The sound echoes softly, carried away almost immediately by the immense space around you. Slowly, your eyes adjust, and what emerges from the shadows before you feels impossible. Row after row of towering shelves, stretching upward farther than your lantern light can reach. Wood as dark as obsidian, runic patterns carved into every beam, faintly shimmering with blue-white starlight. Hundreds, no, thousands, of leather-bounded books tucked neatly within them, their spines glowing with a soft metallic sheen. And above, a ceiling lost to darkness. But occasionally, when your lantern swings, you glimpse something vast and shimmering far overhead, like constellations drifting slowly across a night sky made of stone. You walk forward, awe blooming in your chest. Your steps echo across the marble floor. Somewhere deep inside the grand chamber, a warm, amber lantern flickers to life. Then another, and another, until a soft trail of lights reveals a long aisle stretching into the depths of the library. They are not turning on randomly, they are leading you. You follow. Each lantern hums as you pass, the flame inside swirling as though greeting you. The warmth they cast against your skin is comforting, almost familiar. At the far end of the aisle, you see movement. A figure, tall, robed in deep forest green, that trails along the floor like flowing river water. Their back is turned to you, their posture straight, hands resting on the ledge of an enormous wooden desk carved with sigils. You clear your throat gently. "Hello," you ask. The figure doesn't startle. Instead, they lift their head slightly, not enough to reveal their face. They speak in a voice deep and resonant, like wind moving through a giant hall. You've taken your time. Your heart thuds once. They turn. A man stands before you, or something like a man. His features are sharply defined, his eyes a deep, piercing amber that glows faintly in the dim light. His long, silverback hair is tied behind him with a leather cord. There is an agelessness to him, something beyond years or centuries. He studies you for a long moment. Then, something softens in his expression. "You've come seeking answers," he says quietly, just as all wanderers do when winter begins to take its first breath. He steps closer, not threatening, but calm, measured, and respectful. "I am Thalin," he says, with a slight bow of his head, "keeper of the library," his amber eyes warm. "And tonight, you are welcome here." A quiet breath escapes you. Relief, awe, maybe both. Your fingers relax around the lantern handle. Thalin gestures to the grand hall around you. "This place," he says softly, "does not reveal itself to the curious, only to those whose hearts carry questions they cannot speak aloud." He tilts his head. "What question brought you here?" You open your mouth, and then pause, because you do not know, or rather, you can't put it into words yet. Thalin smiles gently, as though expecting exactly that. "It's all right," he says, voice calm, deep, and soothing. "The library already knows." He taps a long wooden staff against the marble floor. A gust of warm air sweeps through the aisle, carrying the faint scent of old parchment and pine. The lanterns flare brighter for a heartbeat. "We will begin," Thalin says, turning toward a wide staircase carved into the stone. "Come, there is something I must show you." You follow him, feeling the ancient stillness shift, the way air moves in a deep cavern when something old awakens. A sense of purpose threads through your heart, a pull towards some truth you haven't yet named. And as you ascend the first step, the vast silence of the library gathers around you, warm and complete, protective, inviting. The journey has begun. Thalin's footsteps are soundless as he leads you up the stone staircase, one slow step after another. Your lantern glows steadily at your side, but the higher you climb, the less it seems to matter. Soft amber lights begin to kindle along the curve of the stairwell, blooming to life with a gentle warmth, as if waking from centuries of slumber. The air grows warmer, drier, filled with the whisper of turning pages, though none are turning. You reach the top step, and the space that opens before you steals your breath. It is an immense, circular chamber, far larger than the entrance hall. The ceiling arches impossibly high overhead, ribbed with sweeping beams of blackwood and inlaid silver. Lanterns drift freely in the open air, no chains, no cords, moving slowly, like thoughtful fireflies deciding where best to illuminate. But the centerpiece, the heart of the chamber, is the thing that draws your entire being toward it. A massive stone table carved in a perfect circle. Its surface is smooth as still water, and etched upon it, spiraling outward from the center like an ancient map, are hundreds of interconnected runes. But these runes, they move. They glow faintly, brightening and dimming in slow, rhythmic pulses, like breath. You step closer, transfixed. Thalin stops on the opposite side of the table. The moving runes reflect in his amber eyes, turning them into molten gold. This, he says softly, is the table of remembrance. Every seeker who enters this library leaves an echo here, a trace of the truth they carried, the question they bore, the path they walked. Your fingertips tingle as you hover your hand above the surface. The air is warm here, shimmering faintly. You feel something beneath your palm, not heat, but a tension, as if the stone itself is aware of your presence. Why bring me here, you ask, your voice hushed despite yourself. Thalin folds his hand behind his back. Because you carry a question, he replies, but not the words for it, so the library will give it shape. A pulse of light moves across the table's surface. The runes rotate slightly, rearranging themselves, forming new threads between symbols that feel familiar, though you've never seen them before. Thalin nods to you. Place your hand in the center, he says. You swallow, heart thudding softly. Then you reach out, pressing your palm to the cool, impossibly smooth stone, and the world exhales. A warmth spreads through the table, but it isn't the warmth of fire or breath. It feels older, deeper, like sunlight filtered through centuries. It coils up your arm, settles across your chest, and roots itself there. The runes brighten. One by one, they flare in soft gold, rippling outward from beneath your hand. Words you don't know, yet understand, bloom across the stone. Memory, longing, unfinished things, truth behind silence, a path frozen in time. The chamber hums. Thalin watches with stillness that feels ceremonial. Then the runes shift again, all gathering toward a single point. They twine together like strands of living light and form an image, blurred at first, then sharpening with breathtaking clarity. A door, wooden, weathered, bound in iron, and carved into its surface is the same sigil you saw at the entrance to the library, the open eye, framed in stars and branches. A shiver runs through you. Before you can speak, the runes flare, flooding the table with golden light. Then, darkness. Not empty darkness, a darkness full of shape and weight. It dissolves slowly, like smoke revealing what stands behind it. A large corridor, shelves rising like cliffs, lanterns drifting, scrolls tied with red ribbon, glittering dust drifting from the ceiling like ancient snowfall. The library again, yet not as it is now. You're seeing it younger, vibrant, alive with footsteps and hushed voices. Scholars in long robes wandering between aisles, scribes bending over parchment, librarians channeling light into their palms to restore brittle pages. It is beautiful, alive, sacred. Then a soft ripple twists the image. The corridor grows darker, colder. The shelves seem older, dust thicker, light rarer. The people fade. The scholars disappear. The scribes lose their shape and become shadows. Warmth drains from the image like color, from an old photograph. You watch the library collapse into silence, into vacancy, into slumber. Then the table flickers. The last image it shows is a figure, not Thalen, not you, standing alone in a stairwell, snow melting slowly from their shoulders. They do seem familiar, a buried memory tugging at your awareness, but the image blurs before you can grasp it. Then the runes go dim, the stone cools, the silence settles. You lift your hand instinctively. Thalen stands motionless for a long moment, head bowed slightly, as if listening to something you cannot hear. Then he looks up, his voice lower than before. So, he murmurs, that is the shape of your question. Your mouth feels dry. What does it mean? He circles the table, stopping beside you. This library, he says, was once kept by many. A council of scholars, historians, memory weavers, seekers like you. His eyes soften. But it has been many lifetimes since anyone crossed the threshold. His voice lowers further. Until tonight. You feel your heartbeat in your throat. So why me, you ask? Thalen smiles faintly, a slow, almost wistful expression. Not because of who you are, he says, but because of what you carry. Something unfinished, something forgotten, a quiet thread that leads here. He turns toward a narrow archway on the far side of the chamber. Come, there is more you must see, he says. He leads you through the archway into a smaller hall lined with shelves made of pale driftwood, smooth and faintly glowing. Unlike the towering shelves outside, these are reachable by hand. Their spines shimmer with metallic gold and silver, each titled in runes that pulse faintly when you look at them. These, Thalen says, are the books of echoes. Each contain the preserved memory of a moment that once mattered deeply to someone. You run your fingers along the spines. The closest book hums quietly under your touch, like a heartbeat. Are they stories? You ask quietly. Stories, Thalen echoes softly. Truths, secrets, wishes, questions, things left unsaid. He withdraws a book bound in dark, shimmering green leather. The spine bears no title. This, he says, offering it to you, will answer far more than the table could. You take the book. It is surprisingly warm, heavy, but gently so, like a sleeping animal. The cover unfurls under your fingertips, pages whisper open, and the moment you look down, your breath catches. Because the first page does not contain ink, but it contains motion. A swirling image forms on the parchment, tiny, shifting flecks of light that gather into a scene. You see a child, small, bundled in a wool coat too big for them, snow clinging to their boots, standing at a mountain path, a path that looks terribly familiar. The child lifts a map in trembling hands, traces its edge, then looks over their shoulder, searching for someone. You know that look, that expression, that cold. Thalen's voice breaks softly into your thoughts. You have been here before. The room tilts slowly. You swallow, hard, because the map in the child's hands, the way they grip the lantern, the ache in their eyes, your heart recognizes all of it. This wasn't your first attempt to reach a library, Thalen says, his tone gentle. It was merely the first time you were ready. You watch the child turn down a side path and vanish into snowfall. Your stomach knots. What happened to them? You whisper. Thalen steps beside you, voice quieter than before. They wandered, as all seekers do, he said, carrying a question their heart was too young to name. The pages turn themselves, flipping through a half-formed memory and flickers of places you can't yet identify. Then the book snaps shut. The green leather dims to a muted, resting glow. You exhale slowly. Thalen rests a hand lightly on your shoulder. Warm, steady. The library is not here to show you who you were, he murmurs. It is here to prepare you for what comes next. You meet his gaze. What comes next, you ask? His eyes gleam, amber catching the drifting lantern light. A choice, a truth, a journey not yet finished, he continues. He gestures toward a dark hallway branching deeper into the library. A faint wind blows from it, carrying the scent of pine and old ink. Beyond that corridor lies the room of forgotten questions, he says. It will show you the thing you sought, long before you ever knew to seek it. A soft shiver runs through you, not fear, but anticipation. The air feels different here, denser, humming with something old and vast waiting just ahead. Thalen's voice drops to a low, resonant whisper. When you enter, the library will ask its questions of you, and you must answer, or the path will close. Your pulse beats in your ears. The lantern flame steadies. You step toward the dark corridor, the shadows shifting like slow breath. Behind you, Thalen speaks one last time, gentle and sure. Do not be afraid. The library chose you. You inhale, a deep, steadying breath, and cross the threshold into the darkness. You notice a soft glow pulsing ahead, faint but sure, leading you deeper into the corridor. The scent of pine sharpens, the air cools, not with chill, but with clarity. The hall opens into a circular chamber. Your lantern brightens on its own, revealing a room carved entirely from dark stone. Its walls curved like the inside of a great sleeping heart. And floating above the center of the room is a single object, a key, small, iron, old enough to have witnessed centuries. Its surface flickers with shifting images, mountains, snowfall, a child's trembling hands. Thalen's voice echoes gently behind you, though he does not enter. The room of forgotten questions does not ask what you remember, he says softly. It asks what you tried to forget. Your breath catches. As you step closer, the key begins to glow with a soft blue fire, illuminating carvings etched into the floor. Spirals, symbols, constellations arranged in careful, ancient patterns. Then the questions form. Not spoken, not written, but felt a pressure in your chest, a sort of calm tightening, a quiet ache you have known all your life. The key descends until it hangs just before your heart, and the question blooms: why did you stop seeking? The words appear inside your mind like breath fogging glass. Your throat slightly tightens because you know the child in the memory, the lantern clutched too tightly, the map creased and damp. They did not fail to find the library. They stopped believing that they were allowed to. Your voice trembles, barely a whisper. I was afraid my questions didn't matter. The key warms, glows, brightens until the chamber fills with gentle golden light. And for a moment, a tiny, sacred moment, the room feels like it's leaning close, listening. Then the key breaks open, not shattered, but unfolded. It blossoms like a metal flower, peeling back its old iron petals to reveal a new core, a small glowing symbol, the same color as your lantern flame. Thalen steps into the room at last, his footsteps soundless. You have answered, he murmurs, voice warm, proud. And now your path opens. The glowing symbol rises, drifting toward your lantern like a firefly caught in moonlight. When it touches the flame, the light swells, gently, beautifully, suffusing your entire body with warmth. Not heat, not power, but permission to continue, to seek, to rest. Thalen's hand settles lightly on your back. You did not come here to reclaim the past, he says softly. You came to understand why the library called to you, and now you have. The chamber grows softer around you. The light lowers. The carved walls dissolve into shadow. Thalen guides you back into the corridor, but now the shadows glow faintly at the edges, like ink warming to gold. Tonight, he says gently, your journey ends in rest, not revelation. Your lantern dims to a honey soft glow. Your steps slow, your breath deepens. The corridor behind you fades into stillness, its shadows settling, its questions lowering to a whisper. And as you breathe in, something softens in the air around you. The library's magic exhaling, easing, letting the weight of your journey drift gently away. You feel the lantern grow warm in your hand, its light deepening to a soft, drowsy gold. Thalen's voice reaches you from somewhere close, yet already dreamlike. You've walked far enough for tonight. The shelves around you shimmer, losing their edges, their colors blurring into warm, amber haze. The hum of ancient pages slows, quieting to a low, steady rhythm, a heartbeat disguised as silence. A gentle breeze moves through the hall, cool and comforting, carrying the faint scent of old paper, pine, and something calm and steady, like the memory of a distant fire. Let the library carry the rest, Thalen murmurs. All you need to do now is rest. Your steps grow slower, softer, each one lighter than the last. The lantern's glow fades around you like a blanket, warm and protective. The floor beneath your feet feels steady, solid, and safe. The air deepens, your breath softens Your body grows wonderfully, beautifully heavy. You feel yourself drifting, not lost, but guided, held by the very walls that welcomed you. The library fades, its vast halls dimming into a gentle warmth behind your eyes. Thallon's presence becomes a calm, steady echo. Sleep well, seeker. Your story continues, but not tonight. You exhale, slowly, deeply. Everything settles. You sink into softness, warm and weightless, carried by the quiet magic of the library and the steady rhythm of your breath. Inhale, exhale, drifting, resting. The lantern dims to a final ember of gold, and the last words you hear slip through the gentle dark. So sleep well, my dear wanderer, until the next story meets you once more.